What's up, my mind your money business folks? It's me yet again with another video on today's stock market news. And as always, hopefully you're in the market and not trying to time the market, because that is simply impossible to do. So let's see what happened. The headlines are saying Nasdaq hit record. S&P 500 posts weekly gains. Dow slips as Wall Street shrugs off tariff tensions. So let's see what happened today. Hopefully you guys are having a blessed day today. Yes. So, it says U.S. stocks were little changed on Friday as the market largely shrugged off tariff tensions amid fresh data that signaled the economy remains on solid footing. The tech-focused Nasdaq composite rose slightly to notch a new record. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.3% and the S&P 500 fell below the flat line. So the S&P 500 and Nasdaq trimmed early gains to hover near the flat line after the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey showed one-year inflation expectation plunging to 4.4% from 5% in June. Okay. So stocks consolidated for much of the session after the S&P 500 and Nasdaq composite vaulted to fresh closing highs on Thursday. So that means, in my opinion, people took a lot of money out of the market. They probably made gains. So, that's one thing that I've been learning. Like when your stock grows or your portfolio grows or you start making money in certain funds or certain stocks, you can take money off the table and you can reinvest that money into other things that you may be interested in. Like if your stock, or say an individual stock that you have, and it grows 100%, why not take some of that money off the table? I mean, maybe you want to buy a home, buy a car, but again, invest in new stocks. So yeah, so it says Wall Street welcomed economic data which show little indication that President Trump's tariffs are affecting consumer spending habits. I don't think these tariffs are going to be as bad as they're being reported, because there's just too much range. The president says this one day, then he says something else the next day. Then there's speculation about maybe and possibly this is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it's being made out to be. And yeah, so meanwhile, President Trump is reportedly pushing for higher blanket tariffs on imports from the European Union, throwing a wrench in negotiations ahead of August 1st deadline for sweeping duties to take effect. The Financial Times reported that Trump wants a minimum of a 15 to 20% tariff on all EU goods as part of any deal. Because you also need to understand the problem. Like they're trying, some European countries are trying to get away from the American dollar. So that could be the reason why the president is all over the place when it comes to the EU and tariffs. But you can look that up on your own. Again, there's a lot of European countries, to include, I think, even Middle Eastern countries, that are talking about moving away from the dollar and establishing its own currency. So either way, it says Netflix, but look it up. Netflix second quarter results failed to enthuse the market, dragging on the stock. The streaming giant kicked off the big tech earnings late Thursday with a wide profit beat and solid revenue number, but investors likely wanted a bigger boost to full year guidance to justify a raise on an already lofty valuation, analysts suggested. Meanwhile, American Express strong quarterly results underscored high-end consumers are still spending. American Express, of course, it's a credit card. People tend to spend a lot of money they don't have by putting it on a credit card. But hey, they're spending money, and I can't tell people what to do. This week's drama involving Trump's fury with Federal Chair Jerome Powell largely moved to the back burner. Powell sent the letter to Trump's top budget official on Thursday, defending the Fed's headquarters renovation project for which he has come under fire in recent days. Hey, they're renovating the office. But already the focus is turning to who could replace Powell next year and the additional dual mandate that person will face, keeping Trump happy while attempting to maintain the Fed's independence. Yeah, that's a difficult task. And that's pretty much it for today's news in the stock market. Yeah, things kind of flatlined a little bit today. I saw a lot of red, but not big hits. Like my S&P 500 ETF, SPLG, lost 2 cents today, closing at $73.84. Ooh, is that true? Oh, Netflix. Okay, so that's not true. Okay. I didn't know well, I'm babbling. Anyway, that is not true. Why is it giving me this old data? Okay, Nvidia lost 59 cents today, closing out at $172.41. My information technology ETF, FTEC, lost 13 cents today, closing out at $203.93. Palantir lost 47 cents today, closing out at $153.52. Tesla, on the other hand, gained $10.24, closing out at $329.65. Meta gained $2.84 today, closing out at $704.28. Broadcom lost $3.11 today, closing out at $283.34. Apple gained $1.16 today, closing out at $211.18. And that's pretty much it for today. That's it. Again, hopefully you guys are in the market. You know, I always say, in order for you to take advantage of investing into anything, to include yourself, a business, your kids, your family, life, you need control over this thing we call money that makes the world go around. We all need it. Whether we like it or not, you need it. But in order to have full control over your money, you have to be out of debt. You can't have a whole lot of debt. You can have debt, but manage that debt and get rid of it. You don't have to keep it. It's not something that you need to drag around like a whole bunch of unwanted weight and not do anything about it. You can't do something about it. And what you can do is create a budget. And when you create that budget, you start telling your money where to go. You start tallying up how much money you bring in each month after taxes, and then you start tallying up your bills. Then you start paying those bills, right? Oftentimes the bills exceeds the income. You may need to earn more money. You may need to get a side job. Everyone's situation is different, but either way, create the budget, start telling your money where to go, and start tackling your debt, your student loan debt, your car loan debt, your credit card debt, all forms of debt. Start paying it off, except for the mortgage. Just pay off that debt. Then once you pay that off, start investing up to 15% of your income into retirement. I also suggest, and this is what I got from Dave Ramsey because I followed his plan, when you start paying off your debt, you stop all investments. If you have that automatic money or deduction coming out of your paycheck for investments, stop, because you need control over all of your money. And then once you get out of debt, you can start investing again, right? You start investing up to 15% of your income. You put away 3 to 6 months of living expenses. You fund your kids' college fund if you have one. You start tackling your mortgage. And if you don't have a mortgage, save up to 20% for a down payment. Finance that home for 15 years to avoid all the interest payments, and start paying off your mortgage. And that 15-year mortgage may be paid off in 7 to 10 years instead of 15 years. You're going to save yourself a whole bunch of interest payments. And then once you do that, now you can invest more. You can invest more than 15% of your income. You can give more. You can do whatever you want to do with your money. And that is what I'm doing. I'm still trying to create a plan. I told a buddy just today I was going to give him a call tomorrow because I'm kind of stuck. You know, I need to talk to somebody. That's why it's good to surround yourself and get to know people who are like-minded, who are trying to do what you're doing, who's done what you've done, who can help you and assist you along the way, instead of you, or like me, instead of me bumping my head up against the wall, getting frustrated, instead of just talking to someone who can possibly help you find the answer that you're seeking. So yeah, I'm going to end this video. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think. If you think anything at all. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending to be one. So any and all information on my channel is for entertainment purposes only. So please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your hard-earned money, if you're incapable of doing it on your own. All right, so you guys take care. Have a blessed weekend. Peace.